right, we'll do a quick mic check for the media. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. We're here in the Mayor's Gallery, Friday, May 30th. Just want to make sure everybody's getting levels. Michael, is anything coming through for you? Really low? And another mic check just to check our levels, make sure they're a little bit louder, everything hitting right in the range. Okay, good deal.
Yeah, we should get the folks that stay on this side so they're not, yeah.
I'm gonna put this right under. Thank you.
Perfect. People will stand maybe on this side so the TV, this monitor doesn't block anybody. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us. Every person in Louisville should feel safe and be safe in every neighborhood in our city. And in so many ways, we are seeing positive momentum towards a safer, stronger Louisville. This year alone, shootings and homicides are down 30% compared to last year. That is an improvement at the top of the list nationwide for improvements in the reduction of shootings and homicides. Carjackings, aggravated assaults, and robberies are all also down this year. We are committed to continue to invest in our public safety professionals. Last week, we recommitted to our LMPD reform efforts to make them the most trusted, trained, and transparent police department in the country. We know, though, that our progress needs to continue. We have great momentum, but we need to move even faster and do even more things to continue this positive momentum to make Louisville safer every day. So last month, we announced our comprehensive crime reduction plan, Safe Louisville. Through Safe Louisville, our goal is to reduce violent crime at least 15% every year moving forward. This is ambitious, yet it's the kind of progress that our city deserves. So to meet our goals, we need every city department in Louisville Metro government to do their job. We also need to work closely with federal partners, state agencies, and community organizations working together to prevent violent crime and to protect public safety. So we've been stepping up our efforts to collaborate with local, state, and federal partners to crack down on violent crime, especially our most serious violent crimes. Because it's a small number of violent criminals who are responsible for a disproportionately high number of our violent crimes here in Louisville. And that's why I'm so proud to be joined here today. Joined here today by partners who we are working closely with. Partners like those at the FBI, ATF, DEA, IRS, Homeland Security, Kentucky State Police, and Jeffersontown Police Department. All working together to make progress here in Louisville towards a safer city. And the progress that we're seeing here in Louisville that I've just described just doesn't happen by itself. It's the result of tireless collaboration and the hard work of our partners here today and their colleagues at each of their respective agencies. I'm so grateful to all of our local public safety professionals at the local, state, and federal level, and to all of our other partners for the hard work that they put in and the risks that they take every day to make Louisville a safer, stronger, and healthier city. To speak more about the importance of our collaborative efforts and some of our recent major successes, I'd like to introduce Misty Wright, our Executive Director for Community Safety. Misty?
The foundation of the Mayor's Crime Reduction Plan is collaboration. It's everyone working together toward a safer, stronger Louisville. And Safe Louisville has 3 pillars: prevention, intervention, and enforcement. Prevention is about addressing the root causes of crime. Intervention is about stopping shooters before they act, intervening in cycles of violence and incarceration. And enforcement is about holding offenders accountable. Today, we are highlighting one of the key aspects of the enforcement pillar of Mayor Greenberg's plan: state and federal partnerships. We are using our partnerships to improve public safety in many different ways. For example, last October saw the creation of the Violent Crime Reduction Team, Mayor Greenberg collaborated with Kentucky Attorney General Russell Coleman and Commonwealth's Attorney Jarena Weathers to put together a first-of-its-kind team devoted to increasing Louisville's capacity to fight gun crime. The AG established a new office location right here in Louisville for prosecutors and investigators who focus on certain shootings and gun crimes. And as of March, the new team had charged more than 25 gun cases. Another example is the Prohibited Firearms Possessor Initiative, or PFP. PFP brings together local and federal law enforcement and prosecutors to ensure that we are prioritizing the right cases, offenders who are driving violence in our city. Well, these kinds of formal initiatives are things that have been announced. You know about those. But what you may not know is our law enforcement partners collaborate day in and day out to keep us safe. They're in constant communication. They share information and resources. We have LMPD and federal partners conducting investigations both together and in parallel, and using each other's strengths. And the progress that we're seeing so far in 2025 in holding violent offenders accountable is the product of this kind of consistent and deep collaboration. This year, collaborative law enforcement operations have dismantled drug and gun trafficking organizations. They've taken illegal guns and drugs off of our streets. They've led to the arrests of dozens of gang members and affiliates and violent felons. I'll give you just a few examples. Just 2 weeks ago, the United States Marshals Service, LMPD, ATF, Kentucky State Probation and Parole, and the Shepherdsville Police Department worked together on an operation that targeted gang members and affiliates and other violent felons with outstanding arrest warrants in and around the Louisville area. And over the course of just 3 days, those teams arrested 32 offenders. Last month, we saw a major blow to organized crime that shut down a money laundering operation. 7 people were charged federally with money laundering and gun offenses, and more than $500,000 was seized. That investigation involved IRS criminal investigations, IRS CI, LMPD, ATF, HSI, DEA, FBI, and the Jeffersontown Police Department. In March, law enforcement took down a fentanyl trafficking conspiracy and charged 5 people in Louisville with drug and gun crimes. That investigation involved ATF, LMPD, DEA, HSI, and Kentucky State Police. And as a final example, in February, 13 people affiliated with the street gang Victory Park Crips were charged with methamphetamine, trafficking crimes, and gun crimes. That investigation involved ATF, LMPD, DEA, HSI, IRSCI, and Kentucky State Police. In a place like Louisville, where a small number of people are driving the violence, these kinds of operations have a huge impact. And all of the agencies that you see represented here around this podium and more have worked together with LMPD on these kinds of high-impact operations in 2025. These men and women are dismantling the groups that endanger our communities with violence, with gun trafficking, and with dangerous drugs. I want everyone to know that law enforcement here in Louisville is stronger than ever. To our law enforcement, thank you for your tireless efforts and the sacrifices you make to help keep all of us safe. You are an essential part of why Louisville's crime rates are heading in the right direction, down. I now want to welcome Major Stephen Lacefield from LMPD's Criminal Interdiction Division.
Thank you for the introduction, Director Wright. I'm Major Stephen Lacefield. I command Louisville Metro Police Department Criminal Interdiction Division, and I'm proud to represent the LMPD today as we highlight just a few of the many successful criminal prosecutions that have been possible due to the strong relationships that we have with our other law enforcement and federal partners. These partnerships have been instrumental in the investigation and successful prosecution of multiple drug trafficking organizations and violent criminals that have victimized citizens of Louisville. Working with our federal partners allows us to prosecute the worst of the worst criminal element through the U.S. Attorney's Office which provides a mechanism for longer sentencing that keeps our streets safer. Year to date, the LMPD's Criminal Interdiction Division has obtained 76 federal indictments. These indictments encompass a variety of charges to include drug trafficking, firearm trafficking, and murder. This shows the level of commitment that our detectives and federal partners have in reducing violent crime here. The LMPD will continue to invest our resources and dedicate detectives to task force officer positions with these agencies to utilize the most thorough and efficient means to investigate, arrest, and prosecute those individuals who choose to engage in criminal conduct that puts our citizens at risk. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Major Lacefield. I would now like to introduce a few of the federal partners that Major Lacefield and Misty Wright just mentioned. First, I'd like to introduce the ATF Special Agent in Charge, John Noakes. Special Agent in Charge? There you are.
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to Mayor Greenberg for providing this opportunity for law enforcement to join together and update the citizens of Louisville on some of the important investigations and initiatives that are currently impacting our community. I'd also want to extend my gratitude to Chief Humphrey and his dedicated men and women of Louisville Metro Police Department for their continued partnership and their unwavering commitment to public safety. The citizens of Louisville should take great pride in the strong collaboration among our local, state, and federal agencies. Over the past several weeks, I've had the privilege of highlighting multiple successful investigations, each of which was made possible through a united and coordinated effort among partnering agencies. These successes are a direct result of tireless cooperation among investigators, analysts, and the communities that we serve. Law enforcement has moved beyond the days of working in isolation. Today, we embrace an all-hands-on-deck approach, ensuring transparency, shared resources, and collective problem solving to every case that we take on. I would like to specifically recognize the contributions of Louisville Metro Police Department's Major Case Unit, the Drug Enforcement Administration, Homeland Security investigators, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Internal Revenue Service's Criminal Investigative Section, the United States Marshal Service, the Kentucky Attorney General's Office, the Kentucky State Police, and the J-Town Police Department. Their partnership with ATF has been instrumental in a number of recent violent crime investigations here in Louisville. I've been asked today to highlight one such investigation that has had a significant impact on the safety of this city. This case involves members of the Victory Park Crips gang and their connections to the Sinaloa drug cartel in Mexico. The investigation began in 2024 and it included close collaboration with LMPD and many of the partners that you see represented here on the stage today. Through our joint efforts, we identified several individuals affiliated with the Victory Park Crips, many with extensive criminal histories of violent criminal behavior. These individuals were found to be trafficking large quantities of methamphetamine and fentanyl from California to Louisville while also possessing firearms. The investigation centered around activity in Louisville's West End and quickly evolved into a multifaceted case involving violent crime and narcotics trafficking. In February this year, coordinated law enforcement operations resulted in the execution of multiple federal search and arrest warrants here in Louisville. 13 individuals were charged with federal firearms and drug trafficking offenses. In addition, law enforcement seized approximately 185 pounds of methamphetamine. Investigators have determined that the seized narcotics originated from the Sinaloa cartel in Mexico. Those charged in this case have prior convictions for serious offenses, including murder, armed robbery, wanton endangerment against law enforcement, and unlawful possession of firearms. This remains an active and ongoing case. For further details, I refer you to the U.S. Attorney's Office's press release that was dated on February 27th of this year. Additional charges in that investigation are still likely. In closing, I want to reconfirm the ATF's commitment to a strong, sustained partnerships in our efforts to combat violent crime in Kentucky and across the nation. So far in 2025, here in Louisville, the ATF has referred 85 investigations for federal prosecution, arrested 36 violent offenders, and seized over 230 illegal firearms, as well as intercepted more than 250 pounds of illegal narcotics that were intended for distribution in our communities. Thank you for your time and continued support as we together keep Louisville safe.
Thank you very much, Special Agent in Charge Noakes. And next, from the FBI, I would like to introduce David Clancy, who is the Acting Section Chief of the Violent Crime Section within the FBI Criminal Investigative Division. Mr. Clancy?
Good afternoon. I'm honored to be here today joining our valued partners. As mentioned, my name is David Clancy, and I'm the Section Chief of the Violent Crime Section at the FBI's Criminal Investigative Division. Our team is leading the charge to curb violent crime across the country through a number of initiatives and close work with our law enforcement partners. I know I speak for my FBI colleagues here in Louisville when I say I want to reaffirm the FBI's unwavering commitment to ensuring the safety and security of the communities we live in and serve. Violent crime remains a significant challenge in Louisville, particularly crimes involving gangs, drugs, and weapons. We are here today because we recognize those threats and remain dedicated to confronting them head on. Collaboration is at the heart of our efforts to addressing this problem, and I want to acknowledge the critical partners we rely on each day. They are the foundation of our strategy to dismantle criminal enterprises and reduce violence in our communities. Law enforcement collaboration in Louisville and the surrounding areas is robust and multi-layered. At the core of these efforts is the Kentucky Safe Streets Task Force, comprised by FBI Louisville, Kentucky State Police, Louisville Metro Police Department, and the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department. Together, we form a unified front against violent crime, working seamlessly across agencies and jurisdictions. We also maintain strong partnerships with our federal partners, including the ATF, IRS, DEA, U.S. Marshal Service, and the United States Attorney's Office. By coordinating investigations, sharing intelligence, and leveraging our combined resources, we are able to disrupt criminal networks and target crime that spans beyond our local borders. Our coordinated response is producing tangible results. We're seeing progress, as you've heard today, and we will continue to build on this momentum in the months ahead. Our joint efforts have led to the successful arrest and prosecution of multiple offenders, seizure of illegal drugs and guns that fuel violence in the community. In just 5 months, we've made 64 arrests, secured convictions in 33 cases, and had 18 people sentenced, all for violent crimes in the Louisville area. These outcomes reflect our commitment to holding violent offenders accountable and making our communities safer. It's not just about the city. Our reach extends far beyond, targeting violent criminals wherever they operate. Our fight against violent crime is only possible because of the strong partnerships across the law enforcement community, the community organizations, and the people we serve. I can't stress enough how important the community continuing to come forward with information is. You can always call 1-800-CALL-FBI or tips.fbi.gov if you want to report a crime. I also want to remember the victims of these violent crimes, those who have lost their lives or have been injured, and the countless family members who continue to suffer. Their story reminds us why we do the work, and it fuels our determination to keep fighting. Once again, I want to thank our partners and the community. We cannot do this alone. Together, we will build a safer future for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And our final speaker today, and then we're happy to take a few questions, is from the DEA. The DEA Special Agent in Charge, Eric Devadovich, is here with us today, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon. As the mayor said, I'm Eric Devadovich, the Assistant Special Agent in Charge of the Drug Enforcement Administration here at the Louisville Division. On behalf of Special Agent in Charge Jim Scott, who regrettably could not be here today due to a conflicting schedule, I want to thank Mayor Greenberg for including us and for his invitation today. Law enforcement and public safety are collaborative endeavors. We rely heavily on our federal, state, and local counterparts every day, and we all work very closely together to do our jobs, which is to reduce crime and provide safe communities for our stakeholders, the American taxpayer. A whole-of-government approach to law enforcement guarantees that resources are allocated in a manner that is commensurate with the given threat or anti-crime initiative. And right now, the greatest threat facing our community is fentanyl. This synthetic opioid kills more Americans annually than any other drug. While Center for Disease Control data shows that fentanyl-related deaths are decreasing year over year, we still have a lot of work to do. In recent months, DEA's Louisville office has seized enough fentanyl to kill everyone in the metro Louisville area 11 times over. This type of success would not have been possible without solid partnerships. For that reason, DEA remains committed to working with all the agencies represented here today to make Louisville a safer city for everyone, residents as well as visitors. I think it's important to point out that we all live in the communities we serve. So for all of us who choose to dedicate our lives to a career in law enforcement at any level, public safety is a very personal matter. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I also want to represent a few of the other folks that are with us here today before we take questions. U.S. Marshal Gary Berman is with us here. Karen Wingard, the Special Agent in Charge from the Cincinnati Field Office of the IRS Criminal Investigation Unit that Misty spoke about earlier. Kyle Bryce, the Assistant Special Agent in Charge of the Cincinnati Field Office from the IRS Criminal Investigation Division. And HSI from Nashville, HSI Deputy Special Agent in Charge, Colin Jackson. Thank you so much to all of these federal partners, to their colleagues that are with us here today, to their agencies. As you can see, this collaboration is leading to real results. Real results here in Louisville to reduce the amount of violent crime on our streets, to reduce the amount of drugs on our streets, all of which are causing negative things. We are making our city stronger, safer, healthier, a more vibrant place to be because of this collaboration. It will continue. Thank you all very much, and we're happy to take any questions that you all have on these topics. Yes.
This is for I want to talk a little bit about the Community Safety Commission. I know that's a big part of the Safe Louisville plan. Are there any parameters that you're willing to share when it comes to finding out who's going to be a part of that commission, what process you all intend to use to reach those decisions?
I'll jump in there real quickly, and Misty can add anything she wants. But the question was about the Community Safety Commission that we've announced and who is going to be on that and what the process is. The reason I'm jumping in is because on Monday we will have an announcement that answers that very question in detail. So stay tuned until Monday. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us, and we're really excited about this continued collaboration to make Louisville safer. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Mayor. Appreciate it. Thanks, Jenny. Appreciate it.
We're going to take a 2-minute break and then reconvene.